Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Edge Files. I, of course, am Cayley, and I am joined by my favorite Edge Lords Luigi Greenberg and Trucker Andy. I am so excited that we are here, and I am so excited because we are going to be talking about a rare medical condition where people decide to cut off their own limbs and otherwise disable themselves.
Wild
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Can't wait.
So Luigi and Andy, you guys know at least a little bit about this stuff, right?
Very little. I remember hearing stories of. We were talking at lunch one day about people putting rubber bands on their genitals and just waiting for them to turn black and fall off. And I'm terrified that's what you're going to show us today.
I was just going to say, damn it, I forgot to pull those clips. Lucky everyone. What about you, Luigi? Have you ever heard about this? This is like when people want to cut off their own limbs, even though their limbs are entirely healthy. Like nothing is wrong. It's not like they got into an accident, so they're in severe pain. They just want one of their limbs gone.
Oh yeah. I remember actually watching like a short documentary about a woman who wanted to have both of her legs cut off and pretended like she had both of them cut off. It was just
With
weird.
Eddie Murphy and Trading Places.
Pretty
That is
much.
that
I
is
thought it was
called
a goof.
simming. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's simulating that she has her legs cut off. Completely insane.
So
So
you're like an expert on this now for prepping for this show. You know all
I
the terms.
I know way too much about. I'm going to tell you the golden standard for cutting off your own limbs. If you guys want to do it, we're going to learn all about exactly how to accomplish getting rid of your limbs or your otherwise able-bodied self. It's going to be really great.
You have
We
any
do have
tips
this.
about making one of my appendages bigger? Because I'm in.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that you can find that on the internet, though. We are going to start out with a little bit of a history lesson before we look at some people who actually have this condition. The condition is commonly known as BIID at this point. It is called Body Integrity Identity Disorder. And it's kind of like a super severe body dysmorphia disorder. So, body dysmorphia is when you do not see yourself like how other people see you. For example, people who lose a ton of weight, they still see themselves as really fat, even though they have lost a ton of weight. So the first recorded instance of this of any individual having the desire to become a paraplegic when they were otherwise entirely healthy was in 1785. And I'm going to show you a picture of the surgeon who recorded this incident. So this is he was a French surgeon and a studier of anatomy. This is John Joseph Sue. And he described in literature an Englishman who came to a surgeon and said, please cut off my leg. And the surgeon was like, absolutely not. Your leg is totally fine, dude. What the hell are you talking about? So the patient pulled a gun on the surgeon in order to get his leg removed. And he did.
Jeez.
So that is the first time that we ever saw this happening.
Do we know who this is in this photo with him?
Yes, this is his son. I
That's
would
his
have guessed daughter.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have guessed daughter. But that is his son, is the answer to that question.
On your head, it's Knight Melendez.
Yes. You might also notice that everybody has all of their limbs in this picture, which is,
I can't see the son's legs.
that's true. The
Can't
table is
see the leg he had
conveniently
cut off.
placed.
Yeah.
I really thought this was the person that you were just talking about. What country did this happen in?
So this was so it was in France, but the person who wanted their legs cut off was English.
Huh. All
I
right.
know. Yeah. Anyway, that's the way back in the day. We really didn't get into a lot more exciting stuff relating to this until the 1970s. This disorder became much more popular in 1977 when it was studied. Yeah, popular.
I was gonna say with cocaine
Yeah,
and
it's
disco.
true. Yeah, we loved it. Everybody was going to Studio 55 and getting their legs cut off. It was great. What a time to be alive.
Andy Warhol did it as an art project.
So this is when two different people, when Greg Firth and John Money started talking about this order and studying this order. And these two pervs thought that the idea of getting your limbs amputated for funsies was entirely related to sex. So let's take a peek at these two. And in addition to that, you might know the name John Money. John Money, he had some other infamous things. Do you guys know who he is?
In G Unit or something?
I wish.
Oh,
Looks like Alan Dershowitz.
These guys are just running around going, easy access, baby. Get those legs out of here.
Okay, I don't like to kink shame, but I wouldn't bang either of these two dudes, and also I don't want your stump leg rubbing anywhere near my hoo-ha. Like, that's just how I feel about that. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this?
Keep your stump leg away from my vagina.
Please don't do that to me. I don't want it.
Cayley wants a third leg, not no legs.
You know me so well. So okay, John.
Oh God! It rubbed on me. It rubbed on me.
You don't think it would be weird?
Yes.
I imagine it's textured.
Oh yeah, there's always like a little like nipple of bone,
A little
sticking up at
nubbin.
the end of the stump. Yeah, that's so gross. And they always
I don't
smell
like it.
weird
I don't
because
like
your
it.
compression sock is covering it up. You're sweating into it all day.
Oh
Ugh.
my God, I hate it so much. Okay, we need to talk specifically about John Money, though, because you guys might not recognize John Money by name, but he is very, very, very infamous. And I'm wondering, I don't think you do, Luigi. Andy, I'm wondering if you know of the name David Reamer. Does that ring any bells for you?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, so in 1966, John Money, our wonderful John Money who loves to amputate limbs, he participated in a very, very controversial study that he created relating to somebody named David Reamer. And what happened was David Reamer had a botched circumcision, which left him without a penis.
That's some botch. Wait, I
Yes.
mean, that's like I got a sneezing fit during the circumcision.
It is.
Kind of botch.
It's Hedvig and the Angry Inch all over the place. Oh my God. So Money, this left the 8-year-old baby without a penis. And Money, John Money, persuaded the baby's parents that the best way to handle this situation psychologically for this child was to do a sexual reassignment surgery at 8 months old. So he was reassigned and he was raised as a female. Now, David Reamer...
Did John Money do the circumcision?
I don't believe so. But he did a lot of other awful things.
Okay.
So, David Reamer had a twin brother. And so the idea of doing this study was, well, now we can see what happens when one is a female and one is a male and when you have a sexual reassignment surgery. And this will be such an interesting study. However,
Why does my twin sister have a beard? What's happening?
It didn't work out well in any way, shape, or form. Money would essay both of them, and he would order David to get down on all fours and say things like, the twin described it once as that he would come up behind him and place his crotch on his buttocks. So
wait, this is
not
the doctor?
great. No, yes,
Money?
John Money, the what?
Doing it
and they would make. If there's a lot of this is a horrible separate story.
Okay. Yeah, yes, you're right about that. It's horrible.
This is like we could do an entire episode on this, I'll tell you that much. But I will say that the case did not end well. John Money's little experiment that he decided to do did not end well at all because both David and his twin brother ended up committing suicide. So not great.
Yeah.
And that is the guy who helped us understand BIID, or body integrity identity disorder, aka the removal of limbs.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Against my will.
Against my will.
That's
okay.
Crazy. That's a whole other episode.
Yes. So the reason that I'm kind of giving you this background is one, because John Money is infamous for doing this horrible, horrible experiment. But in addition to that, he has a weird sexual interest in things. So together, he and his partner, Greg Firth, who is also up on the screen right now, they decided that they would call this disorder where people wanted to remove their own limbs. It's apotemnophilia, I believe. So apo means away, temno means to cut a piece off of something, and philia means love. In other words, these guys thought that the entire reason that people wanted to cut off their own limbs was, again, for sex.
That's what it always comes down to.
I would do a lot of things for sex. I'm not chopping off my arm for sex.
Right, yeah.
Wait, I mean, I'm kind of curious, like, what was the suspected sexual act that would come out of chopping off your arm?
I mean, it's Sydney Sweeney on the way to my house, and you're handing me a hacksaw, like, saw style.
What are they trying to fuck the wound? Or are they trying to fuck the arm? I'm sorry. Make love to the arm.
Yes, make love. Okay, so the idea is, this is a great question. This is a really actually very, very good and thoughtful, intelligent question that you are asking. This is, so it's, again, I'm horrible at pronouncing words. Acrotomophiles, I think is what it's called. They are attracted to amputees because they like the way that they look, or because they might view the stump as a phallic object that could be used for sexual pleasure. Now, again, I will say, please keep your stump away from my hoo-ha, but to each their own.
Yeah, that's like the anti-fisting, right? There's no fist.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm a little speechless here.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever heard Luigi be speechless before.
I don't know what to say. That's yikes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all under the context of how hot is this person that wants me to cut my hand off? All these people that are into swinging and polyamory, they're all disgusting. They're all, every time you hear about somebody that's in a polycube, you show up and they're all 300 pounds. So
that's fair. That's fair, Andy.
I need more details.
Andy, who would you cut your hand off for?
Not John Money. Tell you that.
Luigi, do you have somebody that you would cut your hand off for?
Several.
Oh. I assume it's Greg Firth and his amazing coat.
Luigi's a cartoon because he's lacking most of his appendages.
That's true. I'm actually a torso. I am just a torso with a head.
Oh my God, amazing. Okay, so in the 1990s.
But I sell my wounds.
Yeah. I don't like it anymore.
I know, it's so gross.
So unsurprisingly, in the 70s, we wanted all of this to be about sex. In the 90s, we got really super boring and it was no longer about sex anymore. So what happened was we created instead of referring to it as the acotempophilia, whatever this apotempnophilia, whatever word that I can't say, instead of referring to it as that, in the 1990s, we got the term BIID, or body identity integrity disorder. And I think
Gene 1313 in the chat has this right. It needs a sexy name, Stump Humpers. This is like way more fun.
I don't like stump humpers either.
I don't like anything about this. I feel dirty.
It's catching on. Right. By the end of this episode, it's going to be a new thing.
Our last episode, I talked about a guy fucking a corpse for 7 years, and this is what makes... I'm sorry. Making love to a corpse.
Did you know that you were signing up for a show that was just all about fucking weird things?
This is where I hoped it would go.
Listen. My Pornhub search history talks about object insertion as much as anybody else's. Let's be honest. It's going to be amazing. We're having so much fun. Okay, so we are going to hear from a guy named Nick who wants his leg to be gone. And let's have him define BIID for us.
D is shortened for body integrity identity disorder, in which it's a condition where the brain doesn't recognize an aspect of the body. For me, the map stops on the right leg 3 inches from the hip. It manifests in an itch. It would be the equivalent of someone who is whole growing an extra limb. It does not belong there.
Okay. So what he's describing is
Crazy.
it's crazy, but it's the same idea. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I should have. In fact, I don't even think about it. It's so obvious to me that I should have 2 arms and 2 legs that I never even think about it. He's saying he wakes up every single day and his body map ends at a certain place.
Yeah.
And so he does not want to have that leg. Now, scientists studied this a whole bunch, and they realized that there is a huge left side preference that relates to somatophrenia, which is the part of the brain that is responsible for body image. So this led to a study that is actually a really clever study. And again, you just heard Nick describing that he feels like his body map ends at a certain point.
Yeah, and there was very sad music. I feel like maybe if it was the Price is Right theme song, that would have been taken in a different way.
I'm going to tell you right now, there will not be a single Benny Hill theme song in this. You are going to hear that sad music on every single clip that we watch for the rest of this episode.
Yeah.
Every single clip.
Get ready to get bummed out.
Yeah, the weird thing about it, though, is that, like, to some extent, you know, I think everyone has kind of dealt with, I wish something was different about my body.
Yes.
But the thing that's different about his body is a second leg, which is quite useful.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to imagine something very practical in your everyday life not being wanted. You know?
That's a good question. So we saw that he didn't have the leg from the knee down, right? And so he's got half a leg, but he feels like he only wants to have one leg, you know, even more of the leg removed.
So
or
we
did
will learn,
he do that to himself, trying to get the whole leg removed?
We will learn a little bit more about Nick. Okay. I will tell you right now, he has both of his full legs in that clip. He is simming. He is simulating that he is missing part of his leg.
It's like Treasure Island when the pirate, the actor, has his leg tied up behind him.
It really is.
That's exactly what it's like.
I don't have an image of this, but we will see it at the end of one of our Nick clips. You will get to see how his leg is tied up behind him. I promise. We are going to get to see that.
It's like Dorf on golf. He's just walking around on his knees all day.
All right, so let me talk a little bit more about the science. Before we get into that.
Luigi, I have all the references about people pretending to
I don't know why the image of him acting like a pirate is just really funny. Like he's wrapping his legs and just going, "Yar, matey."
Yeah. He's got a fake parrot on his shoulder.
To make you walk the plank, you scallywag.
Well, I will hint at this also. We're talking about pirates who frequently wear eye patches, and I will tell you that when we start talking about Jewel, who is another person who has BIID, we might get some more pirate jokes in.
Let me send the link to Tony from Hack the Movies.
Wait, Jewel the singer?
No, thank God.
Oh, what are we talking about?
All right, so the science behind this stuff. So what doctors ended up doing when they realized that this part of the brain that is responsible for body image was like malfunctioning in these people, because these people seemed like otherwise healthy people. They seemed like otherwise sort of sane people. They started doing what they called pin poke tests. And what they would do is they would poke different parts of the skin, and then they would see that there was a brain problem where the limbs were missing from that body map. And when they were doing this pin poke test, it would always match up exactly where people were saying, I don't think that I should have that limb. So this is when the scientists start to believe that this entire thing was not driven by sexual fetishism, but rather by, again, that body dysmorphic disorder. Which is exactly like what you were saying, Luigi. This is the idea that everybody has something that they want to change about themselves. Everybody sees something in themselves that nobody else sees. This is just the extreme case of that. And the real question is, are doctors willing to remove a limb just so that somebody can enjoy sex more? Absolutely not. Are they willing to do it when it seems like, because of these pin poke tests, that maybe there is actually a legitimate scientific reason for it? They might be, and we're going to find out all about that.
What does this have to do with Jewel?
Yeah.
It has to do with pirates, damn it. Pirates.
Oh, all right. As long as she doesn't get rid of those luscious hooters.
I don't know what she's cutting off. I don't have any of that information on me.
You know, I'm being sincere here. I once watched this documentary on transgendered people who had surgery or whatever, just the transition process early in life. And there was this one guy that I remember made the one I think for most of us, being transgender just doesn't always click with us to understand it. Like there's not anything to relate to. Like, I'm very, I don't know. There's nothing in my mind that really kind of understands it. And so I was really trying. And there was this one guy who had this one specific statement that just stuck with me, really weird. And I'm curious if it's similar to this, in which he said that growing up as a girl, he believes that his brain mapped out essentially a blueprint for a male body because he felt an instinct to grab his penis when he was urinating. And it was a girl. And I remember just thinking to myself, that's really weird. And he was saying, I didn't know what a penis was as a girl, but I felt the need. Like there was just something in my brain that just was not wired for my anatomy. And I remember just thinking that was one of the few things that just kind of clicked in my brain of, okay, now I'm starting to kind of understand this a little bit more. I realize that's not everyone's story, but that's the first thing I think of about this when you are talking about a map. Like thinking that, if you want to call it a glitch or if you want to call it an issue, that there is this baseline, I guess, physical and emotional attachment to your limbs and understanding them, but something just not going right with one of them and you feeling like it's a burden.
Yeah,
anyway.
like when Punky Brewster grew up and she had giant jugs and then she got a breast reduction and everybody went insane about it. That's like
everyone told her she was making a giant mistake.
Yeah, please. She got hundreds and thousands of fan mail letters saying, "Don't do it, please."
Like when Mr. T got rid of the gold jewelry.
I still think that it is exactly the same thing as like I wake up every morning and I don't even think about the fact that it is so obvious that I should have both my legs and both my arms and
exactly.
Every single day I wake up, I don't even think about it because it's so obvious to me. And so these people are saying it's so obvious to them I should not have my left leg. That's what they're saying.
It is weird, but once they explain it, there's a little bit of logic to it. Whether or not it's true or not, I don't know, but the logic makes sense.
Yeah.
I suddenly want to do my old man. Punker!
Yeah, remember when Mr. T met Punky Brewster?
I do not.
Two references coming together in one episode.
Worlds colliding right here. I love it. All right, let's take a peek at a couple of super chats here, and then we will get into what people who have BIID do in order to get these limbs amputated, because we all know that when there is a will, there is a way. But first, let's say thank you to Hamhead for a membership of 11 months. Thank you so much, Hamhead. And we have Howard here for $4.99. I like the glasses. Oh, yours are nice too, Cayley. Heart, skull. Yes, you look wonderful. Mine looks stupid because of the stupid ring light, but I haven't figured out how to solve that problem yet. So we have Big Daddy Dodo coming in for $4.99. Crap, I forgot you guys were on tonight. My bad. You just got here just in time. Come on. Perfect timing.
You didn't miss anything.
Rumpled trench. Well, I'm pretty sure I said vagina like 15 times, so might have missed that. We don't know.
Kaylee did start the show topless, but you didn't miss anything.
Rumpled Trench Coat, a Columbo podcast. Thank you so much for the $5. I'd give an arm and a leg to get laid. Okay, hear me out.
We've all been there.
Next up is Hunter Duke. Hunter Duke, thank you so much for the $4.99. Cannot wait to see you in Detroit. You're really taking the long road just to trans SJ's oldest. Yes, I could not do the SJ voice. Love the show. Can't wait for Law Coverage, Episode 3, Toes fantastic Friday.
Yeah, what was the over under on how long it would take me to bring up Knight Melendez? It happened like immediately.
Yeah, 0 minutes.
We were all thinking
0
it.
minutes. Anthony Zenhauser, thank you so much for the $5. If you guys are in the Rochester area on September 13th, don't forget to go check out Zen at Comedy at the Carlson in the Rickles Room. You guys should go absolutely get tickets to that. It's going to be amazing. Zen says, if you want to get your balls removed, just get married. Ayo. Am I right, Andy?
No.
I read that as MJ Klein.
I'm not
If
agreeing
anybody.
with this. My wife's watching this. She's a wonderful lady.
And we have the absolutely amazing Donna G in the chat coming
Donna
in for
G.
$19.99. Thank you so much. Evening, folks. Have a great show. Donna G, you have a great, great night. You are a wonderful, wonderful supporter, and I appreciate the heck out of you. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
The best.
All right. What do these people do? What do they do? So again, you want to get your limb amputated either for sexual reasons because you want to hump. What did we say? I don't even know what we're
Stump
calling
humpers.
it anymore. Yeah, stump humpers because you want to be a stump humper, or you want to get your limb amputated because your body map ends. So these people who have BIID, they go to surgeons to try to get amputated, but that does not always work out so well. So in the late 90s, there was a surgeon named Robert Smith who was in Scotland, and he removed the lower leg of a patient who wanted this to be done. And then he helped another person in 1999. But when he went to take on a third case, the board of ethics for the doctors was like, no, what the hell are you doing? You are absolutely not allowed to just be cutting people's limbs off at random. Like, these people are perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong. What the hell are you doing?
I'd
So
like
then
to
you
think. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
So that he just went and started the cure.
Damn it. I was going to say, I'd like to think that the doctor was the actual Robert Smith from The Cure.
He did have the cure. He did have the cure.
The cure to having two legs.
So when this happened, when surgeons stopped being allowed to do this in the late 90s, anybody who had BIID decided that they were going to start taking the matters into their own hands. And the way that they did that was they would do things like throw themselves in front of trains in the hopes that exactly the correct limb that they wanted to be gone would get gone. But instead, as you can imagine, the trains would just run over them and they would die immediately.
I would think there's a better method than just jumping in front of the train and hoping for the best. Can't you just lay down with the limb on the tracks? Like, what's
So they would try to lay down with the limb on the tracks. You might know this, but trains are very powerful, so they would get mangled up in the train.
okay? That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
Not
my
great.
head removed.
Not great. I will say there is the way that I learned all about this disorder was from a documentary called Whole, WHOLE, which was outstandingly done. However, I saw it back when it came out, I want to say in the 2010s-ish, and I cannot find a copy of that anymore. So it was amazing, and that is kind of where they talk more about that. So I don't have a ton of details on that.
I believe I
Shockingly-
saw that, and that is where the first time I heard about this.
Oh.
Was that the woman who was the psychologist who had she wanted both of her legs gone, and like, yeah, I think I saw that same thing.
I saw the
Yes,
Pornhub parody that didn't have the W at the beginning.
It was called HOLE.
Yeah.
No, stop trying to put the stumps near the humps places. I don't like it.
Yeah.
There was
Thumb
yeah.
Humpers 3 whole. Yes, that was what it was.
If it's the same documentary, I saw it, and one of the fascinating things with it was that one of these people was I don't want to say elderly, but I'm going to say maybe in her 50s, a woman who wanted both of her legs gone, and she was a psychologist, and apparently a very successful psychologist, and even a like a chemical engineer making psycho drugs, whatever you call them, psychological drugs, and had patents on them. And apparently her whole motivation to become a psychologist and learn about psychology was because she kept questioning her own issues with her legs. I don't know if it's the same documentary, but this one I saw like a long time ago.
Yeah, there have definitely been a few things. There's also a relatively recent movie that is about this topic called Armless that I did just watch, which was it was fine. And also, obviously, there's things like The World According to Garp. There's tons and tons of movies with the stumps in them. All right, so again, throwing yourself in front of a train, not a great idea in order to get the one limb that you want off. So let's find out what our good buddy Nick did in order to try to get rid of his leg.
Yar.
Tried myself a few times by injecting medical grade alcohol into the limb, but there was intense pain, more pain than I anticipated, because you could actually feel the alcohol drying up the muscles. There was a sense of feeling of success. You couldn't move it, but after 8 hours, it was fine.
He looks like Butters.
He does look like Butters. He really
It's crazy.
does.
It's like when you have a loose tooth and you tie a string around it to a doorknob and you slam the door. These people are tying a
A
rope
foot.
around their ankle and jumping off the Empire State Building, trying to lose a limb.
That is absolutely it. And like I mentioned, Nick still has not gotten his much wanted amputation. He wanted this thing. He wanted that leg off. And it turns out that he's also kind of a pussy bitch. Like, I understand that he just said that the alcohol injections sucked, but just hack it off, dude. There's plenty of people who just hack it off. There's so many people who just hack it off. So
Nick,
what does
you lack
Nick
the
do?
commitment of your motivations.
What does he do? What does he do? He does the thing that any grown man knows how to do best. He just uses
off?
his imagination. Yeah. He uses his imagination on this one, and he just pretends that he doesn't have a leg.
In terms of pretending, I try to do it at least once a day, if not longer.
He's wrapping up his leg,
I feel
putting pants
a
on.
lot better, and I get to see myself as I would be or should be, rather than as I am.
Now I feel pretty.
Yes. He sure does. Okay, and so I've ended this here with a still of how he has his leg wrapped up. So Andy, you already hit the nail on the head with this, but we got to look at this still more. He's in his kitchen doing stuff, hopping around on one foot with his leg tucked up in the butt of his pants.
God.
I'm kind of impressed by his flexibility. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
That took some effort. I know I couldn't do it.
I
Some
would-
practice.
I would maybe opt for a different article of clothing, like a kilt or something, not skinny jeans.
A moo-moo.
Yeah, or my ankle up my asshole because my pants are so tight.
I legitimately don't understand how these pants work, because look at how tight they are on his left leg, and then in his right leg he has enough room to bend his leg like an ostrich. Like, what the hell is happening with these jeans?
Like the foot is his right foot is touching his left butt cheek. Like they are
Yes.
going across the ass of the pants.
He's somehow
And-
sitting crisscross applesauce while standing.
And he's
Like,
this is like I really want to take this seriously, but I just think this guy might be mentally ill.
Wow.
yes. Well,
It's just like
let's
a
talk.
sympathy thing. Like he wants people to feel bad for him, or he just, I don't.
So,
Obviously, it's a mental, dysmorphia thing. But
people who have
what
this
end?
disorder, they claim that it is the body map. And again, the scientists have kind of proven it with those pin poke tests. But I do agree with you, and many, many people think that these people are just completely mentally fucked in the head. Like, that is the general consensus about people like this. There's some scientific evidence that suggests otherwise, but I don't know. Let me tell you guys about a couple of famous cases. So one of the challenges of BIID, which you can tell from all the sad sack music behind all of these clips, is that they're getting a lot of sympathy, which means that we don't get a lot of hilarious clips of them. So it's
Speak for
actually-
yourself.
that's what this show is for.
It's hard to find clips of people who have this disorder actually talking about it.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you about a few different cases that I wasn't able to find clips of, but that I do think are very, very interesting. So the first one is Roland Bowen, and he removed his own finger in a kitchen mishap, is what he blamed it on. He then later thought that that was not enough, so he sat in a bathtub with a hacksaw and amputated his own right leg.
Brutal.
When
And he
newspapers-
survived it.
He survived it. And when newspapers covered this, they said that he did it just to prove that it could be done. No.
Climb Mount Everest. Do something
No, yeah.
constructive, not
That's
Write
not
a
what I
novel.
am doing. Insane. Absolutely insane. So then we had Mark Comer, who didn't want to amputate himself, but he decided that he was going to damage his leg so badly that it wouldn't be able to be saved. So what he did was he got a block of concrete and he repeatedly dropped it on his own leg. However, it turns out he wasn't even good enough to do that. He did not get his wish. He
What a
did not
failure.
damage the bone enough to get it amputated.
Loser.
I know. He really sucks. He really sucks. In the year 2000, Carl, that's a fake name, but it does start with a K. He used dry ice, which has become the gold standard in limb amputation, and he had success. He was a double amputee after he was done shoving both of his legs into dry ice in his car. Now, the story goes that after he did this, after he put both of his legs into dry ice enough that they had to be amputated, he then drove himself to the ER. Now, I am not incredibly clear on the details of that, but I feel like I don't want to be on the road with some dude who has just funked up both of his legs so badly that they're about to get amputated.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy
how are
drivers, you know?
operating a car
No idea.
with no legs.
With his hands.
No idea. Yeah.
What kind of car was it? A Yugo to the hospital? Sorry. Okay.
Oh, gotta hit the brakes.
About 5 years after that, Michael first described and studied BIID. So he discovered that men were much more likely to have this condition than women. I'm finally safe from something. He discovered that the leg amputation was by far the most common type of amputation that people wanted. And he discovered that also almost everybody wanted the left side of them amputated, which again relates to that part of the brain, which is in the right side, which cross correlates when it comes to the body map. So he's studying a little bit more and first actually describes what the doctor's roles become in these cases. Because again, we can see that people are just doing a whole bunch of stuff to themselves. We don't necessarily want them to do that. So let's
The
go
Venn
ahead.
diagram of people that have this coincides with drunk dads that dropped their kids and never told the mom about it. That's why they can't figure this out.
It's true.
It's brain damage.
Well, there's I don't know. All right, so this is going to be Michael first
Yes.
talking about just kind of about what the doctor's role is.
Who have this just live with it, but they don't take that step of actually actualizing it. But a significant minority of people with this have the feeling so strongly that they will go and do something to make it happen. Our job is to reduce suffering however it's possible. The question is, what can be done? People have tried therapy, they've tried medication. None of those have really been successful. The ethics of whether it is okay to take a normal person and make them disabled is, I think you could make it an ethical case that if you conceptualize this as treating a condition, then it's okay to do it.
Is that Money guy? Is that Eddie Money?
No,
John
Eddie
Lee's
Money.
son? He looks just like that. All these
He
guys
did.
are the same.
he does. There's 15 Kramers in this story. They all look exactly the same.
And they
no,
all
this
use the N-word in their stand-up routine.
It's true. This is Dr. First. So there is a Greg Firth, a Michael First, and then all of them look exactly like John Money, the weird, creepy perv who does experiments on twins.
Was that woman the woman who blinded herself? Because I think that's in the same category as this. There was a woman I remember hearing about who just said that she never liked having eyesight and blinded herself by putting like bleach and something in her eyes.
So I know that this will shock you, but that was Jewel. And yes, you are correct.
The singer Jewel, she had
we
let
will-
herself go.
She's really let herself go. We will be
I'd still
getting
bang
into
her.
Jules' story. Jules' story is even a little bit crazier than what you just described. And if you guys stick around to the end, we're going to get to see some of Jules' artwork. That's right, a blind
I bet it's
lady's
better than
artwork.
John's.
So
Yeah, thank God. I thought you were going to say we're going to see her naked. I was going to leave.
I don't know what kind of stumps she has at this point. And again, I've already discussed that I'm not really into that. So, all right. Do you guys think that there is a potential reason? We just heard Dr. Firth kind of describing that there could potentially be an ethical reason to do this if we are seeing it as a reason to help people. However, should we? I don't
No.
know.
I understand his point, but I think there's also an issue of responsibility. It's not your responsibility to do it. Like, I get that you're in his words, we're supposed to stop suffering, but not everything is necessarily your job. So, God, no, I would never ever want to just cut a limb off just to say I'm helping somebody, unless it has gangrene on it or something.
It's true. And something that we really haven't brought up yet is, but what about regret?
Fear, of course, is somebody goes ahead and gets an amputation and becomes disabled and then changes their mind. I like to encourage people to do what makes sense to make them feel better, but this is such a drastic move that it's hard to encourage.
It is a
I'm
drastic
joking.
move.
I'm joking. Yes.
All right, so let's talk about regret.
Yeah.
Let's talk about regret. I think that we all agree. I think the three of us 100% agree. I guarantee that anybody who is watching this right now would completely agree. If you cut off your leg right now, no matter how much desire you have to do that, you think you would probably regret it in the long run, right? Like it would suck when you're hopping around and you can't go to the concert that you want to go to because they don't have handy capable whatever the fuck bullshit, right?
Yeah,
like I said, a leg is very practical.
yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know when I cut off my leg that pickleball was going to become so popular, and now all my friends are playing it, and I can't.
And I can't play pickleball. That's a really dumb thing to want to do. You
Even if you have two legs, it is.
It's true. So almost nobody regrets this. I'm going to read you guys some quotes from some people who have successfully gotten amputations, either by their own hands, by surgeons' hands, by other ways and means. I'm going to just read you a couple of different quotes, and then we will talk about one case of regret. So this is from Kevin Wright, who was the first patient of that surgeon that I mentioned, Robert Smith, everybody's favorite guy who had the cure. He said, "I have happiness and contentment, and my life is so much more settled, so much easier after not having a leg." Another quote that we have here is, "You have made me the happiest of all men by taking away from me a limb which put an invisible obstacle to my happiness."
My life's so much easier now because I have to have everybody do everything for me because I have no legs.
My life's better now that I get to rely on people.
Some people don't like doing things for themselves.
Well, I mean, hey, that's what I got to do.
So then a
Anything
Patrick,
to get out of work.
well, that I agree with, actually.
God, it's so
A Patrick
weak.
said, I wouldn't want my leg back for all the money in the world. That's how happy I am. George Boyer said, "My only regret is that it didn't happen sooner." Now, like I mentioned, there is one recorded case of regret. As far as I can tell, only one person ever has regretted getting their limb cut off for no reason, or seemingly to us for no reason. And that was Carl, our lovely Carl with a K. And you might remember that he stuck both of his legs in dry ice and then drove himself to the hospital. After losing both of his legs, he still craved more. And so, as a result of wanting to lose more and more limbs, he decided, well, hey, why don't I try some therapy and antidepressants? I don't know. Maybe that could possibly help me a little bit. And
After
those
the legs were
worked.
gone?
Yep, after the legs were gone. After the legs were gone is when he decided to. So this was a very bittersweet success. And his quote after doing this was, he said, it's all
shucks.
it's all the little things like that that I miss, like the sand between my toes. What the hell was I thinking?
Wow.
It took medication to come to that conclusion?
Yeah. Listen, it's complicated sometimes. All right, well, I do feel like, though, we need to hear from an actual amputee about how happy he was and what his experience has been since removing his leg. So this is going to be Hans here, and he is not like Carl in this situation.
Are you happy having only one leg?
Yeah.
You enjoy
I do
being a
enjoy,
one-legged man?
Yes, I enjoy being one-legged. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I'm happy with it. Quite happy with it.
Is there any aspect of your life that has deteriorated as a result of us having taken your leg off?
Today, if you ask me today, would you have it done? I would not hesitate saying yes, without any reservations or anything. It improved my life quite a bit, because that's the way I wanted to be. That's the way it is, and I'm quite happy about that.
Can we get a different camera angle?
Oh, wait until you watch this
And you can
twist.
get it right straight, you can bend it right up.
Absolutely.
Good range of movement, yeah.
No.
I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hate it so much. Let's watch that little bit one more time there. Watch him twist it around. That's why I don't want it near my hoo-ha.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's the reason literally right there. No, not okay. Not okay with me.
Sorry.
It's so gross.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Why is every German person weird?
Listen. We just heard from plenty of other people who were not German also. All right, let's talk about George Boyer. So, again, we've
German.
talked about... I actually don't know where he was from. I just read one of his quotes, though. His quote was, "My only regret is that I didn't do this sooner." So in 1992, he shoots off his own leg with a shotgun. Now, this is the self-mutilation part of this BIID. What he did was he went out into his backyard in order to do this because he didn't want to make a giant mess. Now, he also, because it was 1992, he took his cordless phone out there with him so that he could call for help after the deed was done, because he knew that he was going to need to go to the hospital, right? So he was planning on calling an ambulance. However, he was a fucking idiot and didn't realize that his 1992 cordless phone wouldn't have range out to the backyard. So he shoots himself in the leg, cannot call the hospital. Luckily, his landlady found him, and he successfully got his leg amputated and also did not die. But he was very close.
They asked that guy if he regretted if there was any element of his life that was diminished by shooting his leg off with the shotgun, and he said, "I'm never going to win that ass-kicking contest now." So
He might. I don't know. Maybe you have a bionic leg.
yeah.
You think any of these were actually accidents and they were just trying to save their dignity and say, I wanted it off?
Yeah. I meant to do that.
I meant, totally meant to blow my leg off.
I did. This is a weirder case that I did come across. Let me see if I can find my notes on it. There was a guy named Wang, of all things. I'm sorry. He was a Chinese teenager who used a kitchen knife to cut off his own hand. And he claimed that the reason that he did this was in order to cure his internet addiction. The way that the articles describe it is as an internet addiction, not as a JOAN addiction. But I can only assume that one has to do with the other.
Sounds like a typical Wang.
Yeah, I know. Not great. Not great. All right, we're going to hear now from another self-mutilator. So this is another guy who self-mutilated in order to lose his leg. This is going to be Robert Vickers, and he used everyone's now favorite method, which is the dry ice method, in order to get rid of his leg.
Since I was a child, way before 10 years old, I imagined that I only had one leg. Specifically, that my left leg had been amputated above the knee.
Robert Vickers was about 30 when he put his leg into dry ice, hoping to damage it so much that it would be amputated. But surgeons saved his leg.
At the hospital, thought, well, if this fella's trying to destroy his leg, he must be psychotic. So if we can treat his psychosis and cure him of that, fix his leg so he can walk again, you'll be forever grateful. But neither treatment worked because neither treatment was appropriate. I wasn't psychotic and I didn't want the leg.
Do you guys believe him?
No. What a fucking weirdo. I don't, this one is so hard to believe. I mean, I understand it. I understand that it's real, but it is just so hard to believe or relate. Maybe that's the word. Empathize with this because I can't imagine what problem your two legs are causing. Like to consider one of them an enemy.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. Like what problem is this causing other than helping you be mobile and walk and
yeah. I hate being able to get on and off the toilet easily. It's, I just don't want that problem in my life anymore.
You just want Mrs. Trucker Andy to start wiping your ass for you. I know what's happening.
I've asked my wife. She refused.
I wonder why. All right. Well,
so weird.
Here's the real tragedy of Robert Vickers. He tried his dry ice method, but it didn't work. So I don't know. What do you guys think he would do after trying dry ice?
I mean, I have to assume that the more things you try, the more fucked up your legs are getting. They're turning into like beef jerky. It looks like you have frostbite, and it's got to get easier and easier the more things you try. I don't know, but
I would imagine that as well. His solution to it not working the first time was to dunk his leg in dry ice again, though. Oh God, logic.
Because he was 41 when he placed his leg in dry ice again. This time, surgeons had no alternative but to amputate.
When you awoke from that operation, what did you feel?
Oh, bloody brilliant. Look under the bedclothes, under the sheets, and, you know, my left leg had been reduced to this tiny little bandage stump.
Yippee.
It was what I'd dreamed of for the last 30-odd years.
How much did it change you?
Well, I no longer felt I was pretending. I had to sort of pretend all my life that everything was normal. Well, now suddenly it was normal.
So he went from having two legs and being abnormal to having one leg and being normal.
Something tells me you weren't pretending very hard to be normal. I feel, God, just, man, this was a weird one. I mean, it's funny because
he went on to be the hopscotch champion of the world. He's just holding him back. He was off balance.
The pogo stick champion. It's because, like, I've heard of this. Mm-hmm. I just thought they were crazy people. To hear someone like actually talk about it in real emotional ways.
It's the music bed, dude. The music bed is getting you.
Yeah.
I want these people out of my planet.
Yeah.
I don't like this. This is
He's like,
weird.
I could finally wear that flamingo costume for Halloween. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Ugh.
All right, so
Jesus.
we've now talked about self-mutilation, right? That is a big part of this, is that people who cannot get a surgeon to perform this because the Board of Ethics was like, you're not allowed to do that anymore, they started self-mutilating. Another option, though, is black market amputation. So we all know about the black market, and we all know that it's very hard to find surgeons. So in 1998...
Depends where you look.
Well, hard to find surgeons who are willing to do this bullshit. In 1998, an American, Philip Bondi, traveled to Mexico for a leg amputation. So he found a surgeon in Mexico.
I smell tragedy.
His leg. Yeah, can I say Mexico more times about this? So he died 2 days after the surgery due to gangrene. And the surgeon was actually tried and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Now, you might remember our lovely Greg Firth in the beautiful coat that we were looking at earlier, next to John Money, one of the guys who worked on this in the 1970s and thought that it had a lot to do with sexual desire. Now, the way that Philip Bondi had discovered the surgeon in Mexico was actually through Greg Firth. Greg Firth became a central figure in all of this underground amputation community. He created a website that would allow the wannabes, the people who want to be amputees, with surgeons while screening out those who were likely to do unsafe black market self-amputations. Now, again, it didn't go so great for Philip Bondi, but I think that Greg Firth learned a little bit from that. He actually himself, now again, remember, his entire connotation with this is it's all about sex, baby. He actually also had planned to go down to Mexico with Philip Bondi and get his own leg amputated during that Mexico trip, but he backed out when the surgeon showed up with a hatchet.
This is my medical hatchet. What's wrong?
Yeah. So I think we all know why Philip Bondi died, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But he pulled it out of a sterile bag.
Yeah.
No, he just did one of these.
Yeah. I heard that the Mexican amputee medical suite is right next to the BBL suite, and they're just separated by wood chipper. They jam the cut off leg in, and it goes straight into a black woman's ass.
Well, in that case, I'm going for sure. Now I'm in. This whole time I thought I wasn't into stump humpers, but god damn it, I'm in now.
There should be a shorter word for wannabe amputees, like wannaputees. Ah?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. We can make this easier.
Hold on. Wait. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. It was worth it. Now, Firth, again, he created this website in order to try to help people more safely get these amputations. He was considered quite the pioneer in this industry because, again, he had done all that work in the 1970s because he was a sexual deviant, probably, but whatever, he was still infamous. He ended up dying in 2005 without ever actually getting the amputation that he so desired.
Wait, this is Firth?
Yes.
What did he die of?
I knew that, but I don't remember it, so it was probably something boring.
No, let's just say AIDS.
Yeah, that could be it. I'm sorry that he died without ever being able to get to experience true bliss, which I assume he would have experienced with the stump rubbing on things. I don't know. Okay, that was great. Wonderful times.
It's too gross.
Enjoyed thinking about the stump rubbing on things.
It's too gross. And I literally started thinking about the video we just watched of the guy pulling the stump up and wiggling it around, and then thinking about it rubbing up on a vag.
So, very disturbing.
Luckily, after Firth's death, Patrick was an American who was an American. He had once amputated his own finger, actually, in the dry ice method. And then he took a hammer to it over and over again when it didn't work exactly the way that he wanted it to. So Patrick, he took over this kind of responsibility that Firth had, and he would arrange for patients to see sympathetic surgeons who would stage medical scenarios, admitting the patients under false pretenses and then discovering a reason for them to get amputated. However, so they would give them a script. They would be like, okay, go into the doctor's office and say X, Y, and Z, and then we'll have to oopsies amputate you.
Yeah, it's like being California sober. Like everybody has insomnia, so they can get medical grade marijuana before it was legalized. Yeah.
Yep.
Is this considered like a cosmetic surgery?
Those procedures would end up costing $20,000 though. So this was insane black market stuff. And again, this is kind of in the 90s, so just crazy, or early 2000s even. All right, so let's see how that worked out, how this black market worked out for our friend Nick, who previously was simming that his leg removed. We got to see, did he end up trying to go to the black market, and how did that work out for him?
Oh my God.
Put in contact with a man who was regarded as what's called a gatekeeper, and he knows the names of surgeons who are willing to do an amputation for a set fee, and what they would do then is they would give you documentation to say it was an accident. I paid this man in total just shy 20 grand. Turned out to be a massive scam.
What?
You're kidding.
I got my bank account amputated. Jeez. These desperate people do desperate things, right? They just want to be told what they want to hear.
They do. They do.
Wow.
And it did not work out so great for Nick. He still, like I mentioned earlier, he still has his leg. He is going to continue simming, and maybe one day he will finally get rid of that dang thing. What a burden it's been for him. All right, before we check out one of the most bizarre recent cases, which Luigi alluded to earlier, it's our friend Jewel. I just want to run down a few more infamous cases. Just because they're crazy, and I just need to talk about them. So
please,
Max Price, he used a log splitter to cut off his own leg.
Efficient.
That was the first thing I was thinking of, like guillotine style.
All right, this guy was committed.
This was a botch job, or
he succeeded. I can't imagine not. How do you not succeed with a log splitter?
But did he survive?
Well, there was articles written about him, so I'm gonna go with yes. Happily? Question mark. Now David did something that was very similar to what Andy alluded to earlier. He pulled out all of his own teeth. He thought that he did not need to have teeth anymore. His body map apparently ended at his teeth. Now, that's kind of where I draw the line, right? Because a body map I can sort of understand. I can get the idea that, like, okay, I feel like I should have my arm, perhaps as much as I feel like I should have my arm. Somebody feels like they shouldn't have their arm. But your teeth don't have nerves, do they?
I knew a meth head that did that.
Yeah. Now, Baz was featured in the documentary that I mentioned earlier, Hole. Baz froze his leg in, you guessed it, dry ice, but it was a very infamous case. And then in 2010, Chloe Jennings wanted a doctor to sever her spine, and she actually found a doctor who would grant her paraplegic wishes. However, she could not afford his fees. To my knowledge, she has still not become a paraplegic, but my best wishes for her.
How much does such a service cost?
Again, I'm going to go ahead and guess at least $20,000, but to sever a spine, that's got to be substantially more than just like an oopsies amputation, right?
Wow.
Yeah. That's a choice.
Oh, boy.
That's a damn choice. That is a damn choice. All right, before we get into our last case, our case of Jewel, let's read a couple more super chats here. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Let me talk to you about cutting off the limbs. All right, Daddy Poopy here coming in with $4.99. I can't read what that says.
Shibe?
Shibi came here for LRH part 2. But now I've invested in this. Oh, hey, Luigi.
Oh, hey, Daddy Poopy.
Oh, hello. Next
Friday.
up, we have the Flute Wizard for $10. Thank you so much, the Flute Wizard. You are absolutely amazing and very talented at flute. Hiked a mountain this weekend. We did 16 miles at 6,000 feet elevation. Can't imagine why I'd remove any limbs. Mobility is a blessing. This topic is wild. Definitely feels like mental illness. Wild shit. I believe that somebody smart once said mental illness will literally drive you crazy. So yes, I feel that so very deeply. Brian Workman for $5. I joined late, so forgive me if you've covered this, but how similar is this dysmorphia to the concept of transgender? What parallels? That is a really interesting question. So according to the scientific studies, they are two entirely different parts of the brain. They seem extremely, extremely similar to me. It definitely seems in the same way that I wake up feeling like I should have my 2 arms and 2 legs. People who have BIID, they wake up and they say I should have 1 arm and 2 legs. And in the same way, people who are transgender say I should have this genital.
I think one
genital.
is one. It sounds like the difference is one is a mental fixation on the physical, and another one is more a mental, like an emotional fixation on the physical. But what do I know? I'm just cutting off my leg and putting on a dress. I don't know.
All right, get over here. I'm
I got
into it
both
now.
things. Yeah.
Cayley, would you allow someone to rub their stump on your hoo-ha if it vibrated?
Damn it. You caught me. I don't think I'm into that. Like, dude.
It wasn't a serious question. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to answer it. No.
I'll cut off my leg and go sit on the dryer and wait for you to come over. All right, we'll find out.
All right, perfect. I love that. All right, I'll see you soon with one less arm. Get the dry ice. It's gonna be great. All right, so now we are gonna finally get into Jewel. This is Jewel Shupin, I think is her last name, and she was fine with both of her arms and both of her legs. And we've already guessed what she wants to do. Our pirate illusions from earlier today. What did she want to sever ties with? The answer to that is her eyesight.
BIID means that you have a need to be disabled in some way. In my case, it was a need to go blind.
9 years ago, Jewel took the drastic decision to blind herself, and she researched the methods she would use.
I found that lye is very painful, although it does get the job done. I found that drain cleaner is little less painful, although it does a lot of damage to the eye. Because drain cleaner was easily available to me, I went with that.
She found a psychologist willing to help her, and after 2 weeks of working together to make sure she was ready, they carried out Jewel's plan.
What the literal fuck?
She worked with a psychologist on this.
I'd do more research than having to do a second attempt. Yeah, I would get it right the first time. And it looks like
I wouldn't put lye in my eyeballs.
Super glue on her eyes.
That's what her blindness looks like now. Blindness looks like now. Luckily, she can't see it. So, okay. So, how did Jewel and her psychologist? How did they carry out this plan?
Down on the sofa, and he sat next to me. Drop 2 drops into each eye. My eyes were screaming. I had some drain cleaner going down my cheek, burning my skin. In the moment, all I could think of was, I'm going blind. It's going to be okay.
Can you imagine going to a psychologist and be like, yo, will you please put some lye in my eyeballs, and them saying yes to you?
Well, yeah, that person should be under arrest.
I don't think that's in their job description. I mean, I could be wrong. Wow. Yeah, just Jesus Christ.
She's like, oh, it feels like I'm dying, but it's okay. I'm just going blind. It's what I wanted.
I'm happy now.
The fact that these two people found each other is like, you know, when there's like the like couples that like kill like the Homolkas and like Fred and Rose West, and like, how do you say to somebody like, hey, do you want to go on a murderous rampage with me? And you happen to find 2 people that actually want to do it. And Jewel like went into her psychologist, and was like, hey, do you want to put lye in my eyes? And he was probably like, yo, I've always wanted to do that to somebody. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch somebody go through that, like administer that and then watch their reaction, but I'm a sane person, so.
Women.
Well, yeah. I don't know about all this.
Female psychologist.
You know what a better story would have been?
She referred to him as a guy. It was a guy. That's even
worse.
Well,
I'm saying the woman's crazy, but
ancient.
It would have been funny if she'd been like, the method I chose was a hammer. Yeah. Just beat myself on the side of the head.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was watching that scene in Kill Bill Part 2, and Daryl Hannah gets her eye ripped out, and I said, that looks like fun. I wish that was me.
Well, let's see how it went for Jewel.
I woke up the following day. I was joyful. until I turned on my back, opened my eyes, and could see the TV screen. I was so enraged, and I thought that it hadn't worked. Then over about 6 months, the sight in both eyes slowly went away. I was so happy. I felt that this was who I was supposed to be.
Luigi, you have just been mouth agape for that entire clip. What are your thoughts? Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I think she's decided that if she could see the scale, then she wouldn't have to worry about getting on a treadmill. It's like the long way around to a solution.
I tell my friends the last time I weighed myself, I was 90 pounds. Okay. I think that anybody who knows what I do and what I cover on my channel is weird shit. I like talking about weird shit and crazy things that go on in our world. This is too crazy for me.
You wanted this. You asked for this, Luigi.
I did. And I'm sitting here staring at this thinking, I don't know. Okay, you know what? Maybe it's my own confusion. I don't know whether I should sympathize for this person or think that they're a danger.
She's so happy, dude. Neither. She's literally living her best life. She's like, this is the happiest that she could ever possibly be. And what's even crazier is that not only is she living her best life, but in addition to that, this whole thing cost her not just her eyesight, but her family as well.
First
I can
developed the
imagine.
idea that I need to be blind when I was around 6 years old. I was told by my mother that if I looked into the sun, I'd go blind, and so I stared into the sun for hours on end. Thinking about being blind made me feel comfortable. I was blind simming, which is pretending to be blind. Becoming blind was definitely a difficult decision to make. I tried to avoid it, but it kept coming up in my head, and by the time I was 21, it was a non-stop alarm that was going off.
I just can't imagine electing to operate. You look at somebody like our friend Blind Mike that would do anything to reverse what's happening with him, and this woman is just dying to switch places with him.
This person needs to be locked up. Give her a blindfold. But Jesus Christ, like, try to help her.
Did they try the antidepressants with this woman yet?
Yeah.
Ozempic and antidepressants yet?
No, her psychologist immediately put lye in her eyes like a crazy fucking person. Andy, you are hitting on something so important that we have not touched on at all yet during this discussion. Now, we've already talked about the simming or the creating the simulation that she's blind, aka just being a giant faker. And the disabled community is not happy when people do that. They're like, no, like it's stolen valor, for fuck's sake. Like, you're not allowed to take this. You're not allowed to do this. And they are also not happy about elective amputees in general. Understandably,
because they're taking up all the parking spaces now.
They're taking up all the parking spaces. They're getting all the sympathy, all the things. But in addition to that, when these people get amputated, what else happens? They get government assistance from their injuries. They're on disability now.
Yeah, anything
so
to get
we
out
are
of
now
work.
paying for these people.
Motherfuckers.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Now I'm really pissed.
That is exactly it. So this is what happens when we have these people with this BIID. And so when you ask, should I have sympathy for somebody like this? I don't know. The question is, where do you want your tax dollars going? And how do you exactly feel?
Not to her.
Now, well, I'm imagining you writing out checks with the memo, not for Jewel, and the
Not
government
for
getting really,
Jewel.
really confused.
Not for the dumb, fat, blind lady.
All right. Well, again, for every single one of these cases, I've mentioned these people are all super duper happy. So they don't deserve sympathy because they're taking our money and also because they're super happy about everything that they've done. We are going to check out how she is feeling about everything now. And in addition to that, I promised you that we would get to see her artwork. So don't worry. We are going to get to see some of Jules' absolutely outstanding artwork that she has created in this clip. Because
I'll bet
why
it's
wouldn't
great.
Why wouldn't you do art as a hobby if you're blind?
I have no regrets. I'm
beautiful.
very happy as a blind person. If somebody's out there with the same feelings as I have, I would say don't
help.
go blind the way I did. I know there's a need, but perhaps someday there'll be treatment for it. And just wait for that treatment if you can. If you feel that you have to, at least talk to a psychiatrist. Try to get somebody who knows what they're doing to help you. Don't do it for yourself.
To pour lye in your eyes?
Because it's dangerous. That's why I'm getting my story out there, to help people understand BIID and what it is and what is not.
Do you understand it now?
I understand what it's not.
Whatever the fuck it is, you shouldn't be hurting people. Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, like, that's the hardest part of this whole thing. To me, it's just the harm.
Yeah. Seeing that artwork made me wish I was blind.
But, like,
take the lie away from Andy right now. Everybody, go get the lie. Find the psychologist. Lock up the psychologists. Get the lie.
What were
Andy,
the what were the phases? What were the phases of solution when they arrived at "let me help pour lye into your eyes"? Jesus, fuck! That is insane.
Yeah,
I will say again that most of the people who have had this disorder, when they are going and they are trying to get surgeons to help them with this, or when they are taking matters into their own hands, they almost always have tried absolutely everything. And I did not give you guys videos about that, and we didn't talk about it a ton because I'm going to be honest, it's pretty dry and boring, and this is an insane topic, so I wanted to talk about the crazy shit.
Fair.
But most of these people are going through extreme amounts of therapy, are getting psychoanalyzed, are getting all of the tests done, are trying all of the medications, and nothing is working. It again has to do with that body map and that pinprick test. That is really what it all comes down to, at least in the medical opinion as of the 90s. Now, who the hell knows? Again, in the 70s, we thought this was all about sex. In the 90s, we thought it was all about the body map. I don't know. We could find something totally new next year. What do you guys think it's going to be about next year?
Microdosing.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Macrodosing.
People are eating their parts of limbs in order to get really fucking high.
Yeah.
The equivalent of the cannibalism thing, yeah.
Oh, we should cover that. That's another episode. Put it on the list.
That's a good one.
These people need those little gloves you put on babies so they don't scratch their face. These people just need to be walking around with pads on them so that they don't hurt themselves or each other. Like, there's nothing that's going to convince me that it's okay to hurt someone and remove a limb, regardless of mental disorder.
Yeah. Why is dry ice so easy to get your hands on?
Oh,
it's very easy to get your hands on.
Very easy to get your legs on.
Yeah. And then drive yourself to the hospital. We have another super chat here. This is coming in from Dupa. I can't say words right now. I had to see.
What about doctors that perform the amputees?
They are criminals. That is disgusting and terrible. And the fact that anyone considers helping someone do this is just defies logic. I don't get it.
So we have seen that there are doctors who help connect with the surgeons. We have seen that some surgeons have gotten prosecuted. Again, that Mexico guy did end up getting 15 years in jail. I don't believe that Jules' psychologist ever got punished for anything that he did. And again, there is a very big disagreement within the surgery world and within the medical profession about if this is ethical or not.
No!
So that is a lot of what Mike. That is a lot of what Michael first talks about.
I mean, you're not a medical doctor. You shouldn't be. You're a psychologist. You should not be qualified to pour lye into a woman's eyes. I don't understand how that person is getting away scot-free.
Yeah, no kidding.
I assume that they both swore to secrecy who it was.
Okay.
Like, when you want this done so badly, you don't want your surgeon getting in trouble, right? You're so happy, you're so elated, you're so thankful for that person that poured lye into your fucking eyeballs.
Well,
like that's the happiest you've ever. She described when she first woke up and she thought that she could see, she was depressed.
Because that's probably what happened, right? She's going to this therapist or psychologist or whatever and saying, I can't stand the fact that I could see anymore. I'm going to start jamming pencils into my eye. I'm going to start doing something destructive to myself. That's
do it. I'm not helping.
Saying this is the plight of the psychologist. That
I know.
Maybe like trying to figure out a way to do something less destructive to. And that, I mean, still don't think they're right, but they probably thought that it was better than her, falling face first onto a rake or whatever she was.
Okay.
I don't want that on my conscience. Jesus.
All right, I'm gonna ask this question to Andy because one, I already know Luigi's answer, and two, Andy and I are very close
gay?
friends. Yeah,
I'm not gay.
Would you let the vibrating stump on your?
No, Andy, you and I are very good friends. We have known each other for quite some time now. If I wanted to cut off my leg and I was too afraid to do it myself, and you believed that I was totally sane, would you help me do it? I'm judging our future friendship on this answer.
I would figure out a way to convince you to not do it.
Damn it.
I would help you.
You just don't want me to be a stump hump, or
I don't want you to not be
a stump
on
humpy.
stage at an Isotopes concert. The Isotopes need you.
You don't think that would be hilarious? Andy, have you ever been to there's a strip club around here that's called The Barrel.
Yes.
Is the long format name of it is The Barrel of Dolls, but people frequently call it The Bottom of the Barrel. And they had an amputee for a while, and in addition to that, they had not just girls with like C-section scars that were strippers, but like bullet wound scars, like multiple.
Yeah, I've heard about
that place is amazing.
I've heard
Highly
about
recommend.
that place. I've never been there. We're not even 4 or 5 or 6 times.
The amputee is no longer there, to my knowledge.
I have a story.
I think she went to Foxy's.
I have a story.
I don't know that.
I was once at a strip club for a bachelor party, and it was a work event to some extent. And
that's the coolest job I've ever heard of.
Well, I mean, it was for a work friend, and there were work people there. And anyway,
oh, then it's a very uncool job. Never mind. Okay, continue.
The strip club that they decided to go to was not on the top of my list of places to go. I wanted to go somewhere a little classy. They wanted to go less classy, and I was just, trying to be a team player, play along. Hey, we're having fun. We're guys. We like tits. And at some point, an amputee got on the stage.
Yeah.
And she had her arm cut off right below the elbow. And it turned out she had a crowd of people waiting for her to go up on stage. She had fans. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get the fuck out of there fast enough. It weirded me out. I was so grossed out by it. And I was like, I'm out. See it work. It was weird.
She wasn't like putting fun things on the end, like a big dildo or like a pinwheel or something.
I might have stayed for that. I might have stayed. That could have been fun.
Hey, you didn't wait long enough for the
to see the real show.
Yeah, she was dancing and like emphasizing the arm, like she was doing like these pirouettes and like spins, but like instead of grabbing her wrist, she would grab the stump, and and I was like, I'm not into this. This is totally weirding me out.
Yeah, she screwed on a tennis racket and started hitting things into the audience. Free beer cans of beer into the audience with it. Everybody was all about it.
You know, it's funny. I haven't been to a strip club since that. That creeped me out so much.
You love the strip club.
That was like 20 years ago almost. That was weird.
I'm going to not share my strip club experiences.
Does it involve an amputee?
That's a different.
Well,
that's
I
a
mean,
different
again,
episode.
at the bottom of the barrel, there was the one there. I used to go in and see her sometimes. There was also this one girl there that she was like on the pole, and she was like by far the best dancer there. Like every single other girl was like fat and ugly, and her thong was disappearing into one of her holes that I couldn't really tell which hole it was. But there was this one really, really hot chick, and she was amazing on the pole. And while she was on the pole, she like looked over, and I was there with my now ex-husband, and she goes, "Oh my God, I was there when you guys got engaged. You guys are so cute." And I gave her literally all of my money. I was like, "Just take my money.
You got engaged at the barrel?
Bitch." Yeah. No, please. Please. That would have been... No, I'm not that lame. All right, we do have another super chat. This one's coming in from Donald, $5. Did you cover the gender ID madness of the last few years? We did not really talk about that too much. Again, I know that these two things seem super duper similar. The scientists claim that they are very, very different. I don't know. I think it's up for debate. And again, I think that we're always learning new things in medical science. So I've said it before, but in the 70s, all the doctors thought that this was entirely about sexual fetishism. In the 90s, they were like, no, it's the body maps. Who the hell knows what they're going to say it's about next year?
Craziness.
Yeah. Could be anything. Could be anything. Dang it. I think that is going to conclude all of our discussions about elective amputees today. But we, of course, need to talk about what we're going to be doing, when we're going to be showing shows again. But before we do that, I would love it if, Luigi, you would tell everybody a little bit more about what they can find over on your channel.
I have a channel devoted to amputees.
Now you do.
I actually sell my services to help remove limbs. LuigiGreenberg.com. Look around. It's all there. I'll put lye in your eyes, whatever you need. One-stop shop. Nice. Also, check me out at Papa_Electrico on X. I have a show called Skeptical Robot on Fridays. We cover frauds, liars, con men, charlatans. We just had an episode about the backstory to L. Ron Hubbard, and we will be doing part 2 on Friday. I also do shows on Hack Ride Studios channel. Tuesdays and Wednesdays during football season. We do Unboxing Eric and Unboxing Riley Martin and Unboxing Bigfoot It Is. I also have an occasional show that's a little spontaneous called Can't Come X that pops up from here and there. So check it out.
And Andy, what about you?
Yes, allapologiespodcast.com. If you guys are listening to this right now and you have not subscribed to All Apologies Podcast over on YouTube, please, I'm begging you to go over and do a like and subscribe over there. And this week we are covering something that Cayley turned me on to, the Falling in Reverse singer Ronnie Radke, and what a toolbox that fucking guy is. And we also did a little tribute to the late, great Brent Hines of Mastodon. I do the show with my twin brother, Joe. He was a very big Mastodon fan, so he wanted to talk about how much Brent meant to him. So, and then we wrapped this August up of Avatar August. We had Luigi on for Avatar August with all the non-human guests, and our very special guest Jerksock made his first appearance. So please check that out. In addition to that, if we're talking about what we're going to be doing next on Edge Files, the big news is we're going to go twice a month. So you can look forward to...
This is news to me.
2 times the arms.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 arm-sized episode coming out on September 8th, where Cayley and I got out of the studio. We went to a gated community full of psychic mediums and had I got a psychic reading, and we took a lot of pictures, and we went to a town hall psychic reading, and we have a lot of stories about our experiences in Lilydale, New York. So everybody can look forward to that on September 8th, Monday, September 8th, 7:00.
So fucking cool.
Edge Files episode.
Luigi, I got to say, we were wishing you were there the whole time. We cannot wait. It is killing both Andy and I to not have already told you about it, but we want to surprise you.
I know. And when he told me about it, I was like, I want to go.
It's going to be amazing. Well, thank you all. You guys are all wonderful stump humpers out there.
Don't forget,
I love you.
once over, plug
Oh
your
yeah.
stuff, Cayley,
Oh yeah,
please.
my
Please.
stuff. I always forget about my
Detroit,
stuff.
Detroit, what? WATP, Detroit. It's sold out, but we're
Yeah.
still gonna go.
In
We'll see
addition to
everybody
that,
there.
though, also the Catskills. If you want to come and hang out with me in the Catskills on September 5th, you can go to WATPlive.com and come and join me at Chrissy Mayer's Content Hotel. I'm going to be there with Who Are These Podcasts, hanging out all weekend. I technically am not working because I wasn't invited to work, which means I am going to be hanging and doing all the fun stuff and enjoying myself, and it's going to be great. And I will have all of my limbs, and if you do too, we can hang out.
Yeah, hanging
so-
and banging and humping
Yeah.
stumps. It's all
Humping
happening.
stumps. So yeah, come hang out with me in the Catskills on September 5th. That is going to be absolutely amazing. Who Are These Podcasts is going to be there. Anthony Cumia is going to be there. David Landau, tons and tons of amazing people. It's going to be a blast and a half. And you can find me on Once Over with Cayley. I've been very, very thankful to have been joined by Luigi Greenberg lately as we have been talking about the wonderful LOL suit that has impacted
That's me.
all of our lives here in the Dabbleverse. So it is going to be, we're probably going to do some more conversations about that at some point in the near future. So if you go ahead over to either of our channels on YouTube, then you can subscribe and hit notifications. Actually, go to both. What do I mean either?
We expect you all to watch it twice.
Go to
Yeah.
both.
Subscribe to all of our channels, please.
Yes. And hit the notifications on so that you get notified when we go live. I think you guys are all wonderful. Again, stump humping. That's how.
Look for a
I'm
new
gonna-
membership level on my channel called Stump Humpers.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.